right, let's bring in some reference images that we will essentially trace to help us build our character. There's a lot of different ways to do this, and I'm just going to kind of show you one way that we can do it. I could go over here, hover to the upper right hand corner, and pull this over. And I'm going to switch this to File Browser. That way I can look at the documents on my folder right inside of Blender. I'm going to go to Desktop, and you can see here's References, and I have some reference images right here, and I can see them right here. I'm going to bring in the front and the side. Now, to do that, I'm going to go ahead and look at the front and the side. Now, if you have a number pad on your computer, I recommend using that. If you press 1 on the number pad, it's going to go here to the front view. If I press 3 on the number pad, it's going to go to the side view. 7 is going to be the top view. And then 9 is going to be the bottom. And then I also, other things that we can do is if I press 4, it's going to go this way. 6 is going to go this way. 8, 2, 5 is going to change from orthographic to perspective. Now that might have sounded confusing, but if we look at a number pad, and if you don't have a number pad on your computer, maybe you're on a laptop, maybe you're on a keyboard that doesn't have a number pad, I recommend getting a number pad with Blender because a lot of the shortcuts are set up for the number pad. And you might say, well, Dave, I've got numbers on the top of my keyboard, but that's not really going to make a difference. You can go into the preferences and change it, but I feel like then all your other shortcuts are screwed up. But let me just kind of talk about why they have it set up this way. So if you press 1, that's front view, side, top, and bottom. And you can see how those are the corners of the number pad there. Then this will be kind of incrementally move the camera to the left, incrementally move the camera to the right, incrementally move the camera forward, and incrementally move the camera back. Okay, so, and then this will be the difference between perspective and orthographic. So you don't, it's really easy to kind of do that almost like with muscle memory. But I feel like, again, if you have the top keys, just on a normal keyboard, that would be very difficult to kind of navigate. I think it's designed to be used, again, with the number pad. But also, it's not going to work. If you press 1 on the top keys, it's not going to work. It is set up for the number pad. And the other things, too, on the number pad specifically, if I press period on the number pad, it's going to zoom in to my model, and slash on the number pad. So slash on the number pad is going to isolate the selection, and this is going to zoom up on the selection. So again, very useful thing here. So the reason that I'm talking about that is I want to go to the front view, so I'm going to press 1 on the number pad. And again, if you don't have that, what you could do is you could click on this, and that'll also help you navigate to your particular views. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and press 1 on the number pad. You could also do this if I go to Edit Preferences. I can see that I can say Emulate Numpad here. So if I wanted to use those shortcuts, but again, I don't recommend that because I feel like sometimes the shortcuts can get screwed up if you do that. It'll work for the temporarily, but then you have to remember to turn that off. Okay, so now that I'm in the front view, I'm going to go ahead and hit delete to delete this cube, and now I can kind of middle mouse back, and I can grab this image and I can just drag it onto here. Okay, one thing to note is if I was in this mode, if I try dragging, it's going to seem like it doesn't work. Okay, you have to grab the icon right here and then drag it. All right, so great, I've got the front in the front view, and now what I can do is I can go over here to move, rotate, or scale. I'm going to go to move, and I'm going to go ahead and move this into place. I'm just going to set it so it's aligned with the red line at the bottom here. Now I want to do the side, so I could either click on this or I could press 3 on the numpad, and now I can come here, and again I have to grab the icon, drag and drop, and now I can move this into place as well. Now if I want to look at the front, I'm going to press 1, and now I'm going to look at this. I'm going to hold down Shift and middle mouse, or kind of wheel in. I could also do Control middle mouse, and that's going to zoom in kind of a little bit cleaner. Now I want to make sure that this image is aligned, is centered. And I can see that dark line. The dark line that I'm seeing is actually my image from the other view. So I can just click on this image, and I can go ahead and move it over so it's centered the best that I can. There we go. Press 3, press 1. I can see the bottoms are aligned. Yep, that looks good. Over here I can see that I'm starting to get stuff in my scene. So with this one selected, I'm going to call this front. I'm going to call this one side. And if I needed to change the visibility of them, by the way, I'm just going to middle mouse drag and kind of move it like this. If I want to change the visibility, I can hit the eyeball, and you can see that sure enough that hides the front and that hides the side. Now I'm going to kind of push these back out of the way from the center. So if I select this one, there's a couple ways that I can move this. I can use this move tool here, and now you can see that I get these manipulators and I can move it. Whoop. If I go to the move, if I grab the red arrow, now I can move it like that. Another way that I could move it is I could press G. G is grab, and you can see that I can kind of move it freely. Let's say I don't want that. Maybe I want to move it against this red line. So I could do this, G, and then if I press X, now when I move it, it's going to be forced to move in the X direction. Okay? And X, I can see X is red. So I can see that that red line is with X. If I grab this one, G will activate the grab, and then Y is going to be green. And I can see that now I can, when I move it, it's going to be like that. So if that feels confusing or clunky right now, you can just use the regular move, rotate, or scale tools right here, and then you can just grab an arrow of your choice and move it in that direction. Okay, now I no longer need this. I'm going to grab the top of this one to collapse it. And next, what I plan on doing is making sure that both of these images are aligned properly.